What's good, YouTube? Today we're looking at a video which got a lot of hate from the community. This is my most engaged video in a long while, my most recent ban list wish list in which I advocate for taking 45 cards off the list. You all hated this. You hated that I had the correct opinion and that you didn't think of it first. You hated that my vision for the future of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is better than yours. And most of all, you hated that I'm right and you aren't. And you expressed that hatred through a litany of comments that I'll be reading today. I will let you all know, first and foremost, that I did, in fact, budge on some stuff. Yeah, I was very slightly wrong on some very minute things. So, I will start by addressing those, and then we will go into the reactions to this video. Victory Dragon and Self-Destruct button, first and foremost, was an error. I should not have gotten either of those cards off. I was sent a very long series of messages by Earl, staple of the judging community, explaining to me why exactly you can't do that. Self-destruct button really screws up end-of-match procedures, and in single elimination you can't have ties. The rule for adjudicating draws is different at single elim, and as a result, theoretically, someone with consistent access to self-destruct button could hold up a tournament for hours, just repeatedly activating it. Even if they have like a 70% chance of finding the self-destruct button combo, or a 70% chance of it resolving through a single hand trap, that adds like 40 minutes to every single elim round. It is not super likely, but the fact that it exists would be very frustrating, and there is no end-of-match procedure, rule-based reason to drop someone for doing this outside of your being annoying. In terms of Victory Dragon, it's on the list not because it creates a rules issue, but because of unsportsmanlike conduct reasons. The idea is in a vacuum. Someone attacks with Victory Dragon, the opponent says, I'm scooping game 2. You call a judge, and then you go, okay, so my opponent played Victory Dragon, and then they scooped, and the judge goes, that's correct, you can scoop at any time. In practice, that would never happen. In practice, the player who's playing Victory Dragon would go, what are you talking about? Why would they print this card if it didn't win the match? And there would be a big old scene, and we don't want that to be a regular occurrence. Tempest. I forgot about Celine. I'm so sorry. I forgot about Celine. Every time I see Celine, it's as part of a chain to access code. I completely forgot that it's not a once per turn. And yeah, we probably can't let Celine live at the same time as Tempest, especially because Pendulum is a deck that can make Tempest very easily as well as Celine. Exodia pieces. Exodia pieces I think should stay at 1 for lore reasons. Elma. I did not know the Vylon thing. Butterfly Dagger Elma creates a really unpredictable and unfun loop with the Vylons specifically. I just have never read any Vylon but Cube. I'm so sorry. Cyberjar. I did actually recognize that we have accidentally made Empty Jar playable, and while I don't think it's as good as it would have been way back when, you're drawing your opponent their entire deck. I mean, they could beat you by boarding into Droll, right? You probably shouldn't let Cyberjar out. I feel pretty confident keeping it banned, just because it's so akin to Fiberjar, right? Divine Wind, I missed. You could probably unban Divine Wind. In terms of the limited stuff, Harp Horror, I think, is probably a little too strong. People were very specific about the combos that it enables with Rusty Bardish, so that probably shouldn't come off. Same with Danglong. I am still 50-50 on this card, but I generally think it is probably just a little bit too strong. In the video, I say, you know, I could go either way, and people have given me enough reason to go the other way. Miscellaneousaurus, I think, should be banned. People said limit isn't enough, and I said I don't believe you. But if we're putting a Lithiosogym to 3, I think we probably should err on the side of caution and keep Dino down. Miscellaneousaurus has had a long time in the sun, and people are already labbing combos that don't even include it, so whatever. And then A-Lister, a lot of people said didn't need to be limited. I agree, I only wanted him limited because I thought it was funny. So yes, we should probably not hit A-Lister. So those are the changes. Everything else I think could probably remain where I said it was. But notably, in these 852 comments, there are cards that no one brought up. Like, they had every opportunity to talk about every one of these cards, but for some reason, absent from any of these combos is a discussion of Astrograph, Time Seal, Iris, Birdman, Hero Lives, Face Off, Tolmaeus, Zenmaity, and the errata Du Lauren. Like, that's about 10 cards you can shave no consequences. And I think there's a lot more you can shave once you realize how shaky the arguments people are professing for keeping cards on the ban list is. I have some good ones here. Let's see what we've got. Jack Staple says a trap which no monster can add would be okay. You're right, they could even add monsters cannot activate their effects and make it a field spell. Hang on. First, very funny comment. Second, obviously the important part of Mystic Mine is that monsters can't activate their effects. No one gives a shit that they can't attack, otherwise you could just destroy it with Nightmare Phoenix, right? That's the point. Before I watch this video, I just want to say Yada at 1 was some damn good clickbait. It's not only good clickbait, it is completely fine. MBT, Yu-Gi-Oh! Isn't fun anymore. Also, MBT lets power up Stun and Chain Strike decks to the moon. So, fun is subjective. I find Chain Strike decks to be a different kind of gameplay than modern meta, but not necessarily more or less fun than sitting behind VFD go burr, right? Like, yes, burn is boring. You know what else is boring? Watch your opponent do the same Dragon Link combo for the 50th time in a row and then pass. Like, that's not exciting either. What's more, I don't think any of these changes will bring burn to the necessary level to compete with these decks, so it will be fun for the player who's not playing burn to scrape some free wins. MBT reasoning, because there was an even more degenerate card in the format, we can unban this degenerate card. That's absolutely true. What are you talking about? If really strong enablers were banned for being strong enablers and not because they were meta relevant, there'd be 9,000 cards on the ban list. Do you understand how degenerate some Yu-Gi-Oh cards are? Have you read Primal Seed? I'm not putting that shit on the ban list just because one person FTK'd with it in 2003. Malicious is too strong, proceeds to unban Masterpiece. Yes. Yeah, that's correct. I'm sorry, like, I understand that Malicious is a vanilla functionally, but if a card makes Isold, then it's probably better than Masterpiece. Let's limit Saruya to get rid of stupid draw combo decks. Also, MBT, Hyper Librarian and Emerald to 3. The difference in quality between a Saruya Hyper Draw combo deck and a Hyper Librarian stacking deck is night and day. Like, yes, the Saruya at 3 deep draw decks were ridiculous and not good at all, but occasionally scummed wins. The Hyper Librarian versions scummed even fewer. And a lot of the tools that enabled those decks, things like Level Eater, just don't exist anymore. Card Destruction and Morphing Chart to Unlimited, happy Dark World noises. This person, I think, is just happy. Dark World isn't going to make any sort of meta impact, so that's fine. If this list came out, what would you be playing? Looks at several Exodia decks. Well, here I go obliterating again. Go ahead. Exodia will not be tier 1 under this list. Reasoning sees no play. My Dueling Book Monarch opponent. Are you sure about that? I mean, good luck to your Dueling Book Monarch opponent. If they're not Lithium, then they're not winning. I like the Macro Floodgates, so you are a villain. Okay, everyone gives me a lot of shit for liking Dimensional Fissure and Macro Cosmos, but come on, there's no way to meaningfully interact with the graveyard otherwise. What, do you want me to play Soul Drain? I'm not gonna do it. Oh man, Macro is just such a good card, and it pains me so much that the OCG has it at 3 and we don't. Your hypothetical Exodia opener of 3 left arms and 2 right arms can make Dragoon. That is correct if you are playing 2 Link Spiders. That's frustrating. Let's pretend that VW didn't just come out or Dragon Link hasn't been falling out of favor for the last month. I do want to talk about this real quickly. VW just came out and put up results over 1 week of gameplay, and then in the extravaganza, they didn't do particularly well. I know the Quarantine Series isn't the best metric of determining a deck's power, but they didn't do well in the Quarantine Series either. Like, the deck is clearly okay, but also clearly not the best deck. Dragon Link falling out of favor in the last month is something that I've talked a little bit with, like, Sir Eminon about, and I am of the opinion that it has very little to do with the fact that Dragon Link is no longer strong or something, and a lot to do with the fact that top players are just bored of the fucking deck. It's really strange. Like, the deck is clearly still, if not the best deck, like a top 3, and it's seeing, like, 5% play rates in tournaments because people are just bored of doing it. Did this dude really forget about Smoke Grenade the Thief? I got a lot of Smoke Grenade comments. I'm sorry. Smoke Grenade is not a problem if you make Infernoble much less strong, right? This is another kind of, oh my god, hit every potential FTK enabler ideology, but you really shouldn't be just randomly hitting cards for no reason. Smoke Grenade of the Thief was okay for just about 2 decades. The reason that it's currently played is because Charles can pop it, and sometimes Tracer can pop it. If you hit the very specific decks that make exactly this board, you don't have to worry about their highest ceiling opens. When Masterpiece was legal, it reduced the alternative options the game had. Slower decks couldn't compete as long as an unaffected body was present. Absolutely not true. Masterpiece was legal for several very slow formats that were not named True Draco. It was legal during formats in which combo was devastatingly powerful. True Draco with Masterpiece has been the best deck. It's been the 7th best deck. Masterpiece has been legal long enough during varied enough formats that we have a pretty good understanding of where it would shake out in today's metagame. And the answer is, it'd be okay, but nowhere near the top tier that people expect it to be. Some of this is solid, but the Unlimited section is pure Yu-Gi-Oh! Zoomerism. This is pure Yu-Gi-Oh! Boomerism. I mean, at some point we're going to have to reckon with the fact that Yatagarasu is not strong. Don't ban VFD now, because we could play Allure of Darkness with our frog decks. Ugh. What other Farfa memes can we cram into here for engagement? Farfa, if you're reacting to this right now, please. Pot of Greed should be unbanned, I'm not kidding. This isn't even good bait. Imagine you're going second, doesn't draw Asher Troll, and your opponent drew 3 hand destructions. They play their first 2 cards and proceed to deck thin you like crazy. This is what happens when your brain is on Trickstar Reincarnation. This is what happens when you resolve Candina too many times. You think, yo, if I blind Reincarnation twice, I'm gonna destroy my opponent. I'll banish all their good cards. I urge you, think of any deck that is metagame relevant right now, and decide if they would lose the game because you activated 3 card destruction. You've got 2 cards in hand with which to do the remainder of your plays. Their entire hand is in their graveyard 3 times, and they have a full grip. They're up +3, plus whatever they have in the graveyard. I don't know. Andrew Johnson, I can't beat the meta, therefore hit them. I mean, yes, that's the point of a ban list. Finally, Dino Wrestlers will be back at full power. Oh god, we gotta watch out for that. MBT calling for the unlimiting of every piece of Empty Jar. This is the comment that made me rethink it. Seeing someone with a Cyber Jar profile pic be like, we're gonna play Empty Jar and destroy the format. Yeah. That shocked me out of it. Card destruction cannot be unbanned unless you want Danger Dark World back. I don't understand. Were people losing to Danger Dark World? There's like 9 comments that are like, you can't make Danger Dark World too strong, MBT. You'll doom us all. Who are you losing to? I don't understand. What happened? Was this like Edo Pro meta I just absolutely missed? The only Danger Dark World deck that ever had any sort of staying power was the Grapha Firewall deck, and that was only because Firewall was broken. It was like a deep draw deck that didn't even really accomplish anything more than better Firewall decks already did. I can't wait Farfa to make a rating YouTuber ban list prediction. Prepare yourself, MBT. Listen, I do not care what Farfa thinks. Farfa can make a tier maker website and put me in the double F- tier. It doesn't matter to me. Do you think Karl Marx, upon finishing Capital, thought, oh no bro, I shouldn't publish this? What if Adam Smith thinks this is cringe? I'm not concerned with the beliefs of individuals who don't grasp the magnanimity of the thing that I am trying to do, which is unban 50 cards because it's funny. But in all seriousness, if you don't believe, as I do, that every card that could be brought off the list should be brought off the list, you're probably going to hate this list. Seriously, where's Zexal at? This is another thing where, like, I don't get it. There's a lot of people clamoring for, like, Numeron hits. Is there some under meta where everyone is just playing Danger Dark World versus Numeron Turbo? Is Yep double tier 0 on Dawn of a New Era or something? What's going on here? Sigh. Why 5 monsters on this ban list and no spells? I put this one on here because it's funny. It seems to imply that I have a spell bias, that I should be instead hitting more monsters. You're catering to the same issue TCG ban lists always had. Killing decks by banning their monsters, but keeping them alive through hitting consistency. If you hit monster cards along with spell cards, then the deck can still function, but has consistency problems. 2 problems with this. 1, decks having consistency problems, but not problems hitting their high ceilings, is a huge issue. It means the game is sacky, right? I would much prefer if you can find the same line every game, but that line results in a board that's actually beatable, instead of every 3rd duel you open the absolute nut and can't possibly lose. Secondly, all the searchers are monsters these days anyway. Stop talking about the unfortunate spell bias that I have. And finally, first, where the hell is Smoke Granate? And secondly, where are Engage and Red Reboot? By the way, Beast of the Pharaoh is such an easy way to get 3 Trish onto the board. And that's just it, baby. That's just what I like to see. When you are so synchro-brained that you're defending Beast of the Pharaoh as a viable alternative to Level Eater, and a viable way to accomplish anything, through any amount of hand traps, you know you have left the realm of the living and returned to the realm of magical Christmas land in which these combos are possible. But hey, listen, I'm an adult. I'm willing to accept criticism. I understand that a couple of my picks were contentious, and maybe I went too far in what I did. But I would like you all to prove it to me. I will be hosting, on Wednesday, what I'm calling the MBT Dumb Idiot Moron Ban List Tournament. 16 individuals will be selected to prove to me that this list is broken beyond all belief, enables all manners of hyper-consistent and recursive, resilient FTKs, and can do so in a way that will make me look like a dumb idiot moron. I'm willing to see what you have in store. If you are interested in doing so, I will send you the link. I will put the link in the chat right now and in the description to this video. I am asking you to abide by this ban list and put your name, an Imgur screen cap of your deck, and answer this very important question. And from that bevy of results, I will pick 16 individuals. Probably about half of them will be on some of the most degenerate FTK nonsense they can dream up with this ban list. And the other half will be playing normal decks. Things like Dinosaur without Miscellaneousaurus, Virtual World without VFD. We'll just see which decks come out on top. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I realize I didn't actually tell you how this is going to work. You are going to play on Edo Pro versus your opponents during the day, anytime Tuesday and Wednesday. It's a 16-person tournament. It shouldn't take more than a couple hours at most if you just want to sit down and hash them out. Afterwards, you will save all of your replays and then deliver them to me via Discord. We will watch them on stream Wednesday, and we'll just see how broken this format truly is.